Hello YouTube, I'm David with the David West channel. Well, today I've got an exciting one for you. I wanted to try another friction fire 4 ways type video, and this will be the third time that I've made that type of video. I'll put the links to the other two right here. And in a friction fire 4 ways video, there's the fire roll, hand drill, bow drill, and bamboo fire saw. So the first time I did it, I successfully completed all of them. The second time that I did it, I got 3 out of the 4. And so this time I want to do it again with a twist. This time, I want to accomplish friction fire 4 ways only using my Swiss Army knife. And this is the Fieldmaster. So it's going to be interesting. I'm looking forward to it. So the materials that I have to gather are far and wide. There might be 20 miles apart, but it's near roads and places that I travel all the time. So since I'll be in my car, pulling off on the side of the road, I'll try to get you some video of where I'm gathering the tools. But once again, this will be the only tool that I use, my Swiss Army knife. So I'm really excited to get started and to try this challenge. So let's go ahead and get started. Well, it looks like we got lucky on this one. Looks like there's some pieces I can use right there. Good. We'll still get a chance to cut it with the Swiss Army knife. This might work right here. I'll get a few of these pieces. Not sure what this is. It resembles horseweed, but I don't think it is. It really feels very hollow. But I'm going to go ahead and use it. It feels hollow, but you see it has a pith in it, so this might be a really great spindle. So I'll take this and I'll take its neighbor. Now that is hollow down in there. We'll see. We'll see how it works out. Here's a couple pieces of mullein. Hopefully they're this year's mullein, because the older ones really don't hold up well. Good. We'll have a selection of hand drills. Here's a good horseweed I just found. I couldn't get video of me harvesting it because I was at a 4-way stop, and when the roads cleared, I jumped out of my car real fast and snatched it off. Let me show you how thick it is. This is almost 1/8 inch right there. And then just this little pith right here. Little pith. So you can see how thick the walls are on that. Let's go ahead and cut it off at an angle right here. See if I can show you better. Look at all. I got some thick walls on this one. So I will go ahead. Standard horseweed. You could tell this from like dog fennel, which is the weed that we have in the largest abundance. Now, some people use dog fennel and they say it's a medium difficulty spindle, but to me, I have trouble with them. But anyways, if you see all these leaf nubs right here, you know that this is horseweed. Dog fennel would have leaf nubs about this far apart. Here and here. So Let me take these small branches off of here because I may want to save it all the way up to here. Weed is very forgiving. You can bend on this a lot and before it breaks. Surprisingly forgiving. More than a lot of other weeds. So we'll put this up in the room, start drying it out with the other stuff. And I'll still be looking for some horseweed today in my travels, so I still might be able to get you some video of me harvesting some. Alright, here's a big old piece of privet. In the last storm it was pulled up by the roots, so there's lots of good straight stuff on here, like right here. So if you ever want to figure out these blades, it takes a little getting used to. It's pretty obvious where the big blade is at. And so on the opposite end of the pointy end of that is where the saw is at. So let's go ahead and cut this one off. This looks pretty good. That's a nice piece right there. It's pretty straight from here down, I think. You can tell. So that might make a great spindle right there. Alright, let's cut it off right here. And we'll do a divot right here. Alright, we want to go from square to round now. All right. That's all I'm going to do today. Since the hand drill has to go in the house and dry out, we'll just let this dry out. We'll let the bamboo materials dry out in the house. When everything gets dried out, we'll pick back up. I just want to do all four of them back to back. As soon as I get done with one, go to the other one. And here's that spindle that horseweed spindle I was telling you about. Look at how nice this one turned out. Probably not going to need ashes on this because when they're new like this, they have all of these leaf nubs, like every ½ inch, all the way around. That bites the hand perfectly. So I may have to spit on my hands, but I don't think I'll have to use ashes. So we'll go from the rust fire roll to the hand drill to the bow drill. We shouldn't have any problems at all with this privet. And once again, none of this would be as easy as what it's going to look like on the bow drill if I wasn't using this bearing block with a metal bearing in it. If all these materials wasn't house dried. I am not a survival channel. I am a hobbyist channel. This is my hobby. And then last of all, we'll finish up with the bamboo fire saw. So let's see if I can knock all four of them out back to back. And the only thing I've used so far on this whole build, on this entire challenge, is my Victorinox Fieldmaster. Good night, that is damp. That's not going to work, it's too damp. Let me get another board to do it on top of. Back of the saw blade. I got a good amount of rust right here. Good. %, cotton ball. All right. Now, a rust fire roll, Rudiger roll, is just as reactive as ashes, but it does not make as intense of an ember. So they both will make an ember just as fast. This one won't get as hot as a ashes fire roll. So a lot of times it takes a whole lot longer to ignite a tinder bundle. And our tinder bundle is just going to be these pine needles. All right. But when you're waving it, as long as the smoke is intensifying, you'll want to keep waving it. That might be your only chance to get ignition. So keep waving it until the flames come. And this is like constant airflow from several different directions. So that saved us a bunch of time by waving it. All right. Now, let's do, let me take all this off the table for right now. Let's try that. Horseweed spindle on shortleaf pine fireboard. Alright. It's too far away from the edge of the board, so I'm going to cut back on it. Kind of off to the side a little bit, but I think it'll be good. Let's see if we can get it. And some more pine needles. Let's go for it. I'm gonna have to use ashes on my hands. I just cannot keep my hands wet enough. Hold on. Wood ashes. No particular wood. Any wood ashes will work. Now watch the grip, how long I can grip it. All those wood ashes makes a difference. Here and here. All right. Man, it was a struggle, but we got the hand drill. Let's try the bow drill now. I've got plenty of videos that shows me getting hand drill ember without using spit, with a wet rag, with ashes, and with pine sap. Let me get set up on the ground and we'll try that privet bow drill set. All right, let's see what we can do with it. It's still burning. Privet on privet. Pine needles bird's nest. Let's see what we can do with it. All right, I'm going to round that tip up and use the saw to cut that notch right there. Right here. way out around. You can see it good now that we have the burn in. Way out around. And this side here had me working the oval action. Now that's still a little bit oval, but I don't want to come down on the tip anymore. So let me go ahead and start cutting my knots. Alright, I like a wide notch, but I got that one too wide. So I got to be careful to lean it back that way. Let's just see. And like I said, instead of it being straight up and down like this, I'm going to try to do that. That oval tip rounded out, didn't it? Let me wipe the sweat off my brow. I get questions all the time. What's good wood for bow drill? It's hard to beat privet. That old nasty privet, that weed that grows everywhere that you can hardly get rid of, is great for friction fire. And even for a hand drill fireboard if it's degraded enough. Good night, I'm on such a hill I can't get comfortable. I don't know if you can see it. All right. Now we're left with my favorite. We're left with the bamboo fire saw. Love that privet though. All right, want to scrape a tinder bundle off of this. And I use this wood chip to help keep the blade open. Let's start scraping. First thing I want to do is to scrape off this powdery section here. We'll get rid of it. Alright, now I like to make a lot of shavings for my bird's nest, scrapings, so this could take a while. All right. And instead of using two separate balls, I like to use two connected balls of these scrapings. Alright, now we got to split this. I like to, let's see, I want to split it this way, right across here. So let me get a slit started and then we'll find something to wedge it. I better split this end. Well, let's see if we can split it now. Now, one of these will be a top board and one will be a bottom board. Alright, so I'll put this against the tree like this, and this top board will be up on top here. So, this has to be cut down to a butter knife edge. Alright, this is the tree I'm going to set up at, but let me show you right here what we got going. Here's the top board, and I made a cone-shaped divot right here. That'll collect up the dust. And here's a little slot right here for this knife edge to run on. It's going to be something like this right here. Shavings go in on here. This edge is turned up, and this rides in that slot right there. So, let me go over to the tree here and see if I can work it out to where I can video it well. Everything's a hill around here. There's nothing flat. Alright, the bottom board with the butter knife edge against the tree and against my belt. And we're going to orient that edge up. Now, the top board with the slot and the cone-shaped notch and the bamboo scrapings. And now I'm going to start off, it's going to take about 100 strokes before I start to get smoke. Then eventually I'm going to see one part of this bottom board is going to char more than the others. When I decide to go for the ember, I'm only going to concentrate on the charred section. So let's see what we ended up with. Sometimes the scrapings will go to flame. I've had 2 different times when the scrapings actually went to flame. And anytime you see this on TV, you always see the scrapings go to flames. But I put it in pine needles because there's been times when it's completely used itself up in an ember and just did not go to flames. All right, friction fire 4 ways. I think I want to get, let me go ahead and get all the sets, set it back on the table, make a nice display, and then we'll say our goodbyes. All right, let's start off with what we ended up with, the bamboo fire saw. And this is the first time that I used a diameter this small, but it did good. And you could see from the depth of this that it wore down about 1/8 inch. So, the bamboo fire saw. And before that, we did the bow drill. And that turned out great. I really had no worries about this privet set. This really turned out great. And once again, when it's house dried like this and you have this metal bearing in your bearing block, it's very easy. What them survivalist boys do when they go out in the woods and they find this stuff all wet straight out of nature, it's 10 times harder than what I just showed you here. And then we had the the hand drill. This is what I was most concerned about, the hand drill. And you saw the trouble that I had. If you watched the preliminary video on this, where I was gathering my materials and trying to make different things work, you see I had trouble with this. So, and all 4 of these subjects, these topics, if you'll just search my channel for the type of friction fire I'm showing you, I have several videos on each separately. And the rust fire roll. And I'll have to call it Rudiger Roll because YouTube won't let me use the word fire roll in the title, description, or tags anymore. It flags my video. So I don't mind calling it Rudiger Roll. That's a legitimate name. The rust Rudiger Roll. And if you watched the entire video, you saw that it took forever for both of the rust fire rolls to ignite. And that's because rust just doesn't make as an intense an ember in the cotton as ashes do. And then the star of the show. I promise you I did everything with this Victorinox Fieldmaster. So it did a great job. I love my little Swiss Army knife. All right, y'all. I appreciate you joining me on this one. We'll catch you on the next one.